Welcome to the wizarding world of pedigrees. Before we get into the modes of inheritance, let's consider our pedigree, which is a genetic representation of a family tree that we'll be studying today. First, we have the Weasley family, then the Potters, and finally we have Ginny and Harry getting married to give us our third generation. Here we are studying the trait of hair color, and we'll specifically focus on red hair. In order to make it easier to see, I have graded the images of those in the pedigree that do not have red hair. So first off, females have 2 X chromosomes, receiving one from their father and one from their mother. Males have an X and a Y chromosome, receiving 1 Y chromosome from their father and 1 X chromosome from their mother. Some genes that encode traits are present on these sex chromosomes. For example, if red hair was an X-linked recessive trait, the recessive or lowercase allele would need to appear in both X chromosomes of Ginny in order for her to have red hair. However, Ron has only 1 X chromosome, and he would only need 1 copy of the lowercase r allele in order to be a redhead. Now remember, we aren't completely sure if the trait is recessive or dominant. If red hair was X-linked dominant, then a female only needs at least 1 dominant big R allele on an X chromosome to be a redhead, and again, the male only needs 1. Traits linked to the Y chromosome are also possible. However, this means that the woman could not show the red hair phenotype as they don't have a Y chromosome. First off, I'd like to preface that when we don't know the parent's genotype, we assume them to be homozygous, as long as there's no evidence proving otherwise in their children's phenotypes. In this case, all 4 Weasley children have red hair, so it's very likely that the parents are homozygous for the red hair. So we will assume this to be true when necessary. The mode of inheritance could not be X-linked dominant. This is because James and Albus would have to receive the big R allele attached to the X chromosome from their mother, meaning that they would have had to have red hair. The mode of inheritance is also not X-linked recessive. If red hair was recessive, then Harry's mother, Lily, would have to have the homozygous little r genotype. Men receive their only X chromosome from their mothers. Therefore, Harry would have had to receive the red hair phenotype. The mode of inheritance could not be Y-linked, as women in the pedigree show the phenotype of red hair. Other traits are encoded with genes that are present on autosomes, which are non-sex chromosomes. Males and females have these chromosomes in common, so in this type of inheritance, sex does not matter. Remember, both females and males receive 1 allele from their mother and 1 allele from their father, which makes up their genotype. Let's reconsider our hair color scenario, imagining that red hair was an autosomal dominance. Both individuals could have red hair as long as 1 of the dominant alleles were present in the genotype. If red hair was autosomal recessive, then the only way for the 2 to be redheads would be if they received 2 little r alleles from their parents. As seen in the photo above, using red hair as genotype homozygous little r, the mode of inheritance could be autosomal recessive. For autosomal dominant, we would consider the phenotype of red hair to be dominant over brown hair. The trait could not be autosomal dominant, as Ginny, who would be homozygous big R, and Harry, who isn't redheaded and would have to be homozygous little r, couldn't produce a child with brown hair. All children would receive a big R allele from their mother, which would always be expressed as red hair phenotype.